Well, hey, mamas. Jessica Coulter here, CEO and founder of East Cookie Tutoring. Let's talk about parent-teacher conferences one more time. Today, we're talking about what to request and what not to demand. Okay, the do's and don'ts. So let me know in the comments, do you ever make requests, maybe even demands, but most likely requests of your child's teachers in middle school, high school, at parent-teacher conferences? I want to know. And if you'd like to share what those requests have been, I'd love to hear them because I got to tell you, as a tutor, I know parents ask for all sorts of things from teachers. Sometimes things that are, more than fair. Sometimes it gets a little questionable. And that's what we're talking about tonight. Before we get going, though, I want to thank you for watching here on YouTube. Do also want to welcome you to my event called the Mid-Semester Refresh. That is all about parent-teacher conferences and all about surviving till the end of the semester. And there's amazing speakers covering pretty much everything and anything you need to know to help your teen and help yourself in the semester awesomely. So sign up at the link in the description after the video to join us for that event. All right, let's get back to requesting and demanding. So do request. All right. Well, if your child is struggling in a class, but doing all the work, doing his absolute best and asking for help and, doing all the things he's supposed to be doing, like turning work in on time and, actually staying in class, not being a problem, those are all perfect opportunities for you to make a request, especially if your child's struggling. If it's something as simple as maybe he just can't keep up with the reading, the teacher's assigning 20 pages a night and your kiddo can get through like 5 pages a night, that could be a request. How can we meet those reading requirements, but maybe not have so many pages? It's a happy medium. Maybe it's something that your child was sick and it was a big project due and the teacher took away 50% of the grade. And you're like, man, that was pretty steep. He was sick. He couldn't be here and the work was done. We just couldn't physically turn it in. Well, that would be a matter of, could you request maybe not so much of a deduction? But you got to remember, this is all up to the teacher, and it's also up to you and your child how you guys handled it. I mean, if your child was sick and then 2 or 3 weeks goes by and you didn't say anything, and more importantly, your teen didn't say anything, I don't know if the teacher's going to be all that sympathetic. Whereas if you let the teacher know that day or even a day or two after that your child was sick, and hopefully, more importantly, your child lets the teacher know, well, then the teacher's going to be way more lenient, way more willing to meet some kind of request related to the grade of that project. Okay, so some more ideas here I want to share with you about requests versus demands. Before I do, I want to say thank you again for watching here on YouTube. If you're not a subscriber, that means you're missing out on my live videos that I do at least 3 days a week. So be sure to hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications so you don't miss any future videos all about education, teens, learning, and studying. All right, let's talk about demanding. Like, what's the difference? What does a demand look like? And why should you not make a demand in a parent-teacher conference? Well, demanding is usually pretty unreasonable. Demanding usually entails yelling, usually demands not really being fair or kind of sometimes a come to reality moment kind of thing. So if your child has not done a single homework assignment, your child has not studied for a single test and has failed every test, the teacher passed your child. Like, it's not going to happen. Okay. If you demand that the teacher gives your child a different assignment or demands that your child sits in a certain seat, not going to go very well. Okay. So I encourage you, parents, if you have a request for the teacher, but you're struggling to make a demand and a request, really think about, does my child need this? Does my child want this? Is this something the teacher could actually provide? Is this something that, is something that would benefit everyone? Okay, the teacher, my child, me, other students in the class. So I got to tell you, your teachers at parent-teacher conferences, we talked about this earlier this week, they're going to be tired. They're probably hungry. They might be a little frustrated. They might be most definitely worn out. So definitely demands, not going to go well at most parent-teacher conferences, if at any. So definitely think about that old adage that you've probably heard 100 times, the whole idea of honey versus vinegar. That's pretty much what a request versus a demand is. You're going to get a lot farther with requests that actually feel like requests, not demands that entail yelling and pretty much being rude and mean and not very nice to the teacher. So that's where I want to end it, is that there are all sorts of things you can ask for at a conference. There are all sorts of things you want, all sorts of things that your child needs, wants, but there is a difference in how you ask for it. It's going to determine how that conference goes. So thank you so much for watching, mamas. Be sure to come to that event, the Mid-Semester Refresh, happening October 24th. All you got to do to sign up and listen to 31 amazing interviews. They're going to help your teen survive the dip and end the semester strong, is to click the link, provide your name and email. So have an awesome night, good weekend, and we'll see you next week for a new series all about teens, studying, and learning. Bye.